Alrighty, so level 16. Personally, level 16 and the last level, level 18, are my favorite levels. It looks very simple. So basically, what happens is if we click on this bomb, you'll see we have 8 seconds. We have to collect those four green oozes. Basically, what that's going to do is that's going to allow us to make the bridge appear, and then we can get across the bridge to click on the green tile. So that's basically what we want to do. Okay, so let's try this one. So 8 seconds, it's very, very fast. Okay, so I've got a few seconds left. Okay, I've got the bridge. I can click the bridge and, ooh, just almost. I was like zero point 0.5 seconds away from getting it. I think I could have done it a little bit faster, but anyway, that's the level we're going to be making today. So I can't wait. Let's go. All right. So this is what I have so far. So I took a screenshot of the main level. So what you can do is you can design it until you get to this point, and then I'm going to show you how to do the next part. Okay. So I'm just going to crop this down just so I can focus a little bit on this. Okay, I'm going to make it a bit bigger. All right, so now we're going to start by making this one. All right, so make sure you've already designed the main part of the level like me, and then we're going to continue. All right. Okay, so how are we going to approach this shape? Well, if I go to my shapes, I could just take a cylinder and draw it on my slide. I could even adjust this one. The problem is I'm not exactly sure how I can change these colors, because I can change to this, but I cannot change this color and this color separately. So look what happens if I just choose this color. You see the top is a little bit different here, but we could combat this in a different way. So what I could do is I could take a rectangle like this, something a little bit like that. I'm going to take the outline away, and I'm going to copy the background color. So I have something like this. Okay, so that's my rectangle. And then what I could do is I could take an oval, and I can kind of get the right size oval here. Again, I'm going to take the outline away. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this oval kind of like this on the rectangle, and I can change the exact color. So now we've got two different contrasts here. I'm just going to make this rectangle a bit bigger. And then I'm going to copy this oval. And I'm going to bring one down here. Something like that. I'm just going to make the rectangle a bit bigger. Okay, now I'm going to change this oval to the same color as this. Okay, so now what I have is I have made the exact 3D cylinder here. So all I can do now is group it. So now I can move it a lot easier. So we have this, which is really good. So now I need this kind of like green oval in the middle. So let's get our oval. Let's kind of make it the exact same size. All right, so something like that would do nicely. I'm going to put that in the middle. I'm going to take the outline away, and I'm going to choose the exact same green. Make sure it's nicely centered. All right, beautiful. And now we want this kind of like light thing glowing here. So it's in the shape of a trapeze. So I'm going to find my trapeze shape, which is right here. I'm just going to draw one out over here. And I'm going to reverse the direction of it. I'm also going to make it a little bit wider. I'm going to remove the outline. Okay, well, doesn't look like much, but if I change the color to the same color as the background, I'm going to make it a tiny bit wider. Okay, so something like that would be very nice. Center it. Okay, and now we're going to do a little trick here. So I'm going to go to Format Shape. I'm going to go to Gradient. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the same green. So one for the bottom and one for the top. Now here's the trick. I'm going to select the color which is at the top, and I'm going to put the transparency all the way down. So something a little bit like this. So now if I take this and bring it onto my slide, you can actually see we have this kind of like a light effect up here. Okay, so now I can group all of those ones together, and I can adjust the size so it fits really nicely in the middle of my tile. So let's make this one a bit smaller. Okay, so nice. That's looking pretty good. So maybe I can actually make my one a bit, maybe a bit shorter. Let's see. Yeah, I think my one's a bit too long. So let me ungroup this. And I'm just going to adjust the size of this. And then I'm going to select my other two images and group them once again. All right, so now this looks pretty good. Let's put it right here. Maybe I can make this one a tiny bit bigger. Okay, beautiful. I think that's perfect. Okay, nicely in the middle. All right, so we've got the first part. So let's move on to the next part. All right, so the next part is we need 4 green cylinders to fit these 4 holes here. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup this. I'm going to copy this cylinder. I'm going to bring it over here, and then I'm going to just group these back again, just so it's easy for me to move if I need to. Okay, so then all I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the size so they fit in this space. Okay, so that's perfect. Let me change the color. So let's make this color this green. And then this one, I'm just gonna make it a tiny bit darker so we can kind of see it has a, actually maybe we can make the bottom part a little bit darker. Let's go to more fill colors, and we can adjust this one to make it a tiny bit darker. Okay, so actually that looks pretty good. Okay, so now I'm gonna group these again. So group. So whoops, let me just zoom in. Okay, actually it's already in a group. Yeah, it's already in a group, so we've already done that. So I can just copy and paste this. I'm going to put one in here. I'm going to put one here as well. And I'm going to put one here. All right, perfect. So we have these 4 cylinders. So these are going to help us make our bridge later. Except at the beginning, they are not here. They're going to come down later. So I'm just going to move them up. I'm going to move them up here. All right. So that's the second part done. So next we're going to do these 4 slime or ooze piles. Okay, so we need to make 4 of them, but this one's going to be easy for us. So we're going to just copy one of these tiles. I'm going to make sure it's the green color of the ooze, of this kind of slimy green. And then we want to kind of animate some nice bubbles coming out of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is maybe we can take this circle shape. I'm just going to remove the outline. And then I'm going to take a rectangle and I'm going to cut maybe almost like a semicircle. So just a bit bigger than a semicircle. Okay, so now I have this. So this is going to be one of our bubbles. So let's give it a nice color. So let's go to gradient. Let's play around with these. So maybe we can put like a darker green on the outside over here. And then we're going to put a lighter green in the middle. All right, that looks pretty good. Maybe I can change the type of gradient, maybe to a radial. So it's going to come in the middle. And oh, that looks actually quite nice. Let's put the direction. Let's change that one. Okay, so that looks nice, except I think we should change the direction. So maybe we should put the light color on the outside. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. And then we're going to put the dark color over here. Okay, yeah, that actually looks pretty nice. We've got like a 3D effect here, which is really cool. And then maybe I can change the transparency so it's not too dark. All right, so that doesn't look too bad. Beautiful. Okay, then I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller. I'm also going to make two more of these. So one maybe medium size one, and then maybe one like really small one. Okay, so that's perfect. We've got these kind of like bubbles here. So now we're going to animate these. So what I mean by animating is we can make them bigger. So let's do this one. So animation. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do a grow and shrink. So it's going to get bigger and then it's going to go back to smaller again. So let's have a look at this. Okay, so you can see it got bigger. Okay, let's preview that one more time. Okay, whoops, I didn't set start with previous. So start with previous. Okay, so now let's have a look at this. Okay, so you can see the bubbles getting bigger. Okay, so it's exactly what we want, except we want to repeat this for the whole slide. So timing, repeat until the end of slide. Okay, so now let's have a look. Okay, good. So it's getting bigger. All right. All right, so I think we have to reverse this as well, don't we? So let's go to timing, go to effect and auto reverse. So it should get bigger and then smaller again. Okay, that's exactly what we want. Let's preview this. Okay, bigger and then smaller. Yes, exactly what we want. Okay, perfect. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly the same for these. So let's put our grow and shrink. Let me put with previous. I'm going to time this one until the end of slide. And maybe we can delay it by 0.2 seconds. So it's not really at the same time. They're getting bigger and smaller at different times. Okay. Oh, let's not forget to put auto reverse. I forgot that. All right, then we're going to do the same for this small one as well. So grow or shrink with previous. Let's change the timing. Let's put this one to 0.3. Repeat until the end of slide and auto reverse. So now let's just preview what we have here. Okay, so that's actually looking really nice. Except I think we can delay some of this a bit more because they look like they're happening very close together. So let's maybe put this one to 0.3, and let's change this one to 0. Let's put 6. Let's try that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that's a bit better. Yes, a lot better. Very good. This one's a bit too big for me, so I'm just going to make it a tiny bit smaller. Okay. All right, very good. So we've got those oozes. It's exactly what we like. Okay. All right, guys. So let's move on to the next part. All right. So now you should have something like me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this ooze pile away to the side for a little bit. And I've already renamed this group to bomb. So the first thing I want to do is I want this group over here to appear when I click bomb. So let me go to animations. Let me make sure it appears when I click on, so trigger, when I click on bomb. So that should appear when I click on bomb. Okay, so we have a problem here. I see the ooze piles. Okay, it appears, but the ooze piles didn't. So I think I know why. Because if we go to the animation pane, the bubbles are already animating automatically at the beginning of the slide. But if I make sure they're selected and bring them here, they will start animating when the ooze pile comes in. So let me check it now. Okay, so we can't see it. Very good. If I click on bomb, it appears. Perfect. It's exactly what we want. And then I'm going to select all of them, and I'm going to copy and paste these a few times. These are going to be in the corners of our level. Okay, perfect. I want them all to appear when I click bomb. Okay, so I'm going to select these first set of animations here, and I'm going to bring them down to where it says trigger bomb, and I'm going to put them under here, and I'm just going to make sure they happen with previous. I'm going to do the same for these ones here. The next set, I'm going to bring those down under, and again make sure they happen with previous, and I'm going to do the same for the last set over here. Okay, that's should be pretty good with previous. So let's check. So at the beginning we can't see anything. If we click on the bomb, they will all appear. So this is really good. Okay, so we've got that working. So let me just save this right now. Okay, the next thing is I want them to disappear when I click on the ooze pile. So I'm going to make sure I go to my selection pane, and I'm going to rename this one to O1. So 01. I'm going to call this 02. I'm going to call this one 03. And I'm going to call this one 04. It's going to be easy for us later to identify them. So I'm going to select all of these group. I'm going to go to animations and disappear when I click on O1. I'm going to do the same for this group over here. I'm going to go to disappear when I click on O2. I'm going to go to this group and do exactly the same. So disappear when I click on O3. So trigger O3. And then finally, I'm going to do the same here. Disappear when I click on O4. So let's just test how it's looking right now. So at the beginning, we can't see them. We click on the bomb, they should all appear. But when I click on them, they should disappear. exactly what we want. All right, perfect. So this is looking really good. So now we can just move them into the select position. So I'm going to select all of these and move them over here. Okay, you can do the same, and I'll see you when I've finished with those. All right, so it should look something like this now. So if we just preview this really quickly, I click bomb, they all appear, and then I can, whoops, I can click on them one by one, and they should disappear. Now, the next thing I want to do is when I click on one ooze pile, I want its corresponding cylinder to come down in position. So I think we already know how to do that. It's exactly the same with these boxes. When I click on one box, the other box falls down. It's exactly the same concept. So I'm going to show you one, and then you can do the other three yourself. So I know this diamond is called O1 because we renamed it earlier. So let me just zoom in over here. Whoops, a bit too far. Okay, good. All right, so let me put an animation on this. I want it to appear when I click on O1. And I also, let me go to the animation pane. So good, when I click on O1, all of the ooze pile disappears. And then this one will appear at the same time. So with previous, it's going to come down 0.5, it will appear. And then also I want to animate it coming down. So let's put an animation on this. And let's just move it into place. It's not going to be down here. It's going to be right over here. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. Okay, and then make sure I bring this down to O1, so trigger O1. I'm going to put it right under the appearing animation with previous, and I want this to happen very quickly as well. So I'm going to make sure it happens in 0.5 seconds. Okay, so let's just make sure that's working. So I click bomb, they appear. If I click this one, it disappears. Okay, and the corresponding cylinder appears and comes down. So now we're going to do exactly the same for the other three. Okay, so I'll pause the video here, and then I'll go ahead and do these three. Okay, so now you should have something like this. So let's just have a quick preview. We can't see anything. We click on the bomb. We have the ooze piles. If I click on this, the first pillar comes down, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. So now, when we click on the bomb, we want to see the timer over here. So we want to see like maybe a 10-second timer or maybe 8 seconds or something like the original game. It's completely up to you. So I'm just going to zoom in here. We're going to put some time. So I'm going to go to home, shape, put a text box. I'm just going to put the number 10. I'm going to choose the green color. Sorry, not the background color. The actual text color is over here. I'm going to choose something that I like. I really like this one. It's completely your choice. Maybe we can make it bold so it's easy to see. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. Maybe we can put the time about here. All right, so let me zoom out. Okay, that looks pretty cool. Okay, maybe I can put like maybe a dark background. No, it doesn't look too good. All right, so like this is fine. I can maybe put it a little bit further in. Okay, I'm going to rename this text box to N10, so number 10. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it to the side. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put number 9, rename it to number 9, and so on. So I'll just do this and I'll skip ahead. you can do the same. Okay, guys, so you should have something that looks a little bit like me now. So I'm going to show you a little trick to put these into the middle. So if you highlight all of them and go to align, you can align them to the center, and you can also align them to the middle. So that's going to put them on top of each other. The 10's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to make sure I move it with the rest of the group. Okay, so that looks about right. And then I can move them into position like this. So it's a nice little trick here. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I've also renamed them. So if I go to the selection pane, you can see I have all of them named. N means number. Okay, so basically when I click bomb, I want 10 to appear. Then I want it to stay there for 1 second. Then I want it to disappear. At the same time it disappears, I want 9 to appear. Okay, so we're going to do it for 2 numbers, and then you're going to do it for the rest. So I'm going to make sure I select number 10. I'm going to go to animations, fade. I'm going to make sure that happens when I click on bomb. And then if I go to the animation pane, you can see it's automatically put it with bomb. And I want this to happen with previous. So it's going to happen at the same time as these guys over here, which is really good. I'm going to make it even faster. So timing, let's change this to 0.1 second. Actually, 0.5 will do us fine. We don't have to change it much. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to make sure number 10 is selected again. And then I'm going to go to animation, and I'm going to go to fade out, so the exit animation. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag it down to here. And this time I'm going to put after previous. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that the time is still 0.5. All right, very good. It's exactly what we want. All right, now let's do it for number 9. So I'm going to click on number 9. Let's make it fade in 0.5 seconds, so we don't have to change anything. Let's bring it down. And this time I want it to happen after previous. So after 10 has disappeared, 9 will appear. Okay. So that looks pretty good. And then again, I'll make sure number 9 is selected. Go to animation and then exit fade. Let's drag it down over here. And this time I'm going to put it after previous. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to delay it by 1 second. So it's going to stay there for 1 second and then disappear. Okay, then I'm just going to do the same for all of the other numbers, and then we'll see what we get. So you can make this bigger so you can see the animations happening. Okay. All right, so let's continue. I'll do it for the numbers and you can do it too. All right, guys, so now once you've got those numbers sorted out, you should see something like this. So if I click on the bomb, you'll see we got 10, then we got 9, 8. So there's a countdown. Okay, so that's exactly what we have so far. All right, now when it gets down to 0, so after 1, we want the an explosion to appear, and then we want it to cover the whole level. So if anybody gets touched, they will get sent to the slide before. So how we're going to do this is we're going to start by making an oval. So I'm going to make a big oval here. I'm just going to turn or take off the outline, so no outline. I'm going to right click it, format shape, and then we're going to give it a gradient. So for this one, I think we're going to go to a radial gradient. And I'm going to choose maybe something like this. We're going to have a dark color. So let's put a green, and let's put a green too. Now I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to put the transparency a bit down. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, that looks like an explosion of slime. And then if we want to be really nice, we can put like a green glow behind it. It's completely your choice. For the sake of this one, I'll put a little kind of glowing effect. All right, so this is good. So I'm just going to make this a bit smaller. I'm going to position it around the bomb area. So actually maybe somewhere here, just so that when it's bigger, it will cover the whole slide. All right, well, we can test it out later. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put two animations on this. I'm going to put a fade in animation. So the bomb will fade in. I'll just go to the animation pane. Let's put the timing on this. Okay, it's going to fade in very fast, which is very good. And I want this to happen after number one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down to trigger bomb. So after number one is here. So let me make sure this happens after previous. So it's going to happen afterwards. But I want to make sure there's a delay of 1 second. So delay it 1 second. And I want the duration, yes, going to happen in, let's make it a lot faster. We'll make it appear in 0.1 second. Okay, it should be delayed by 1 second, which is very good. So let's just check that out. Well, it looked like it. Aha. Okay, here we go. So yeah, I can see it's been delayed 1 second. There's a gap over here. Okay, so we've made it fade in. It's going to happen after number one has disappeared. Now, what I want to do is I want to make it really big to cover the whole area. So I'm going to do this by putting a grow animation on it. So you can see it's kind of growing, which is very good. I want this to happen at the same time as it's appearing. So I'm going to put it down here. Make sure it happens with previous. And I want it to, it depends how difficult you want to make it. But let's go to the effect options. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the size. We want a custom size. So first I'm going to try 800%. So let me just click enter and then OK. So let's see if that will go over the whole slide. Okay, yeah, pretty much, just about. So that's actually really good. So that's going to happen with previous. Okay, so now I need to make sure that when the mouse goes over it, the player gets taken back to the previous slide. So I'm going to select the circle. I'm going to insert an action on mouse over, link to slide, and we want slide 32. That's the slide before. Okay, very good. Okay, so let's just test this, see how it's working right now. So let's put the bomb first. So 10, let me just put my mouse away so we can actually see if it's working or not. Okay, wait for this countdown. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then there should be a bomb. Okay, oh, there we go. And, okay, so that's working. Amazing. So that's what we've got so far, guys. This is great. A really, really good thing. So let's, I think we've got most of this level done. Now we just need to make sure the bridge is working and that we can click on the blue tile to get the green one at the end. Okay. All right, guys, so this one should be the final part. So now what we need to do is once the 4 pillars are down, we need to create a link here to bring the bridge up and then we can get across to click on the green tile. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select one of these white tiles. I'm going to bring them over here, and I'm just going to copy this a few times. Okay. Whoops. All right, so I'm just going to quickly name these. Let's call this one D1. We're going to call this one D2. This one we'll call it D3. And this one, we'll call it D4. All right, so what I want to happen is when I click on this ooze, I want this tile to start to appear. But I want it to appear maybe 7 seconds later. Okay, and don't worry, we're not going to see this one. This is going to be completely invisible. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the transparency of this to 0. So we're not going to be able to see it. I'm going to remove the outline, but it's still here. I'm going to do exactly the same thing for these guys as well. Remove the outline, remove the outline as well. And then for this one, also transparency to 0. All right, so we can't see them, but they're here. Okay, and we can select them by clicking on the selection pane. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put them over here. Actually, it might be a good idea just so we can see their position. Let me just make the transparency. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to put them in the right position. Okay. So something like this. Okay. And okay. Okay. And now with them selected again, now I'm just going to change their transparency back to like 100%. I don't want to see them. Okay, so now I'm going to click on D1, and basically I want it to appear 7 seconds after I click on O1, which is this ooze pile here. But even after it's appeared, we still will not be able to see it. Okay, so we need to trick the player into thinking that there is a link when all of the 4 pillars are down. All right, so let's make sure D1 is selected. I'm going to go to animations, and I'm going to get it to appear. All right, and then if I go down here, I'm going to first trigger, so it happens when I click on O1. And when I go to animations, let me make this a bit bigger. I want it to happen after. I want it to happen, with previous, but I'm going to go to timing, and I'm going to put the delay to 7 seconds. So we'll have something like this. You won't be able to see it even when it's appeared, but we're going to trick the player here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly the same for the other 4. So I'm just going to come here to D2, and I'm going to put the animation appear when I click on O2. And then we'll go back to the animations with previous. And I'm going to make sure we delay this by 7 seconds. All right, I'm going to continue. You stop the video and you do it yourself, okay? All right, guys, so this is going to be the last part. So we want to make sure that there is a link here that we can click to make the bridge come up. So I'm going to use this tile to be our bridge. But what I'm going to do is first I'm going to copy this, and I'm just going to put it into position like so. And I'm going to make this transparent so you cannot see it. So let's right click, format shape, make it completely transparent. I'm going to remove the outline as well. Okay, and while I have it selected, I'm just going to call this transparent diamond. So this is going to be our link, and I only want this to appear when the last cylinder has come down. So this cylinder, remember when we click on ooze 04, the cylinder will come down. So I want the transparent shape to appear. So we're going to make sure it appears. And we're going to go to the animation pane. I'm going to go down to trigger 04. So we have trigger 01, 02, 03, 04. Okay, it's going to happen at the same time as it comes down. So after previous. So then there will be this transparent tile here. And we're going to create another tile. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to remove the outline as well. I'm going to make sure it's green. And I'm going to put it on top here. So this is going to be our bridge. Or this is going to be the link to our bridge. So I'm going to put it over here. So basically, I want this green tile to appear after those 4 cylinders have disappeared. Okay, so when the player has clicked on the transparent diamond, the 4 cylinders disappear, and then this green diamond appears. So let me just call this green diamond. Okay, so let me click on these 4 cylinders. I want them to disappear. So disappear, or we can have, yeah, let's just make them disappear. When I click on transparent diamond, so transparent diamond is here. And at the same time, I want the green one to appear. So I'm going to click on green diamond, make sure it fades in. When also I click on transparent diamond, so if I go down here, I'm going to make sure these two happen at the same time. Maybe put the duration, yeah, 0.5 seconds is fine. Okay. So let's test out what we have right now. So let me put the bomb up. I'm going to click on these ooze piles. Okay, okay. Oh, I forgot to click on one over here. Okay, we've got plenty of time to test this out. Okay, so now there should be a transparent diamond. They disappear. Okay, good. And then the green tile comes up. So that's perfect. All right, but the bomb caught me out here. Okay, so we're doing well. So now all I have to do is make the bridge come up when I click on the green tile. So we know how to do that. So I'm going to stop the video here, and I'm going to do this, fast forward a bit. All right, guys, so I think we've got to the end of the level. I've made my bridge. I've also put this green tile down. So now it's time to preview this whole level. So let's check our timings. Okay, so I click the bomb. I can click on 1, 2. Let's get back over to the other side. Okay, I've got 7 seconds left. Whoops. Okay, we can click on it. The bridge will come up. Okay, but I forgot to click on this. Okay, and whew. Okay, so I need to make the level 17 slide. Level 17. Let's put the link. Make sure I've got the link. Edit link to the next slide. Okay, well, that was quite easy. I mean, I could have done it a lot faster. So again, play around with the timings. If you want the 10, 9, 8 countdown to happen faster, you can always do that by going to the animation pane, and you can change the settings of these ones. Instead of putting a 1 second gap, you can maybe put a 0.7 second gap. It's completely your choice. So for the level like we've done is quite an easy one, but again, we can change the timing to make it a bit harder. So good job, everybody. That was a really long one, but we got there in the end. So can't wait to see what you guys have come up with. See you in the next lesson, everybody.